I'm going to go ahead and add state for my buttons. So the first thing I need to do is go back into my theme, so themes.js, and I need to add a couple of different additional variables. So I need to say what my disabled background color and my disabled text color are going to look like. So I'm going to add disabled, neutral 400, and text on disabled is going to be neutral 300. Now, Brent asked a really good question on the break, and he said, are you going to be just putting these all top level, or are you going to be nesting some of them? That's a great question. These are going to be top level, but you'll see once we get to status that we're actually going to nest those inside of a status object. So you can definitely break these up by text style, by font, by color, things like that. So feel free to do that. Okay, so I have two different values that I've just added for the disabled. Now I'm going to add these to my button component. So on focus, I'm going to add an outline of 3 pixels solid, default theme, primary color, primary hover color, primary color hover. Oh gosh, those are confusing. And I'm also going to give this an offset. So if you look at my design here, you'll notice that I have like this space between my button and the outline. So I want that offset. I want it by 300 pixels, by 3 pixels. Offset, 3 pixels. 2 pixels, I'm sorry, 2 pixels. For active, mine just got a shade darker, I believe. So active, I'm gonna set background color. I'm gonna set this to default theme dot primary active color, primary color. That's really gonna confuse me. Let me quickly go back to themes. Primary color active, primary color active. In my notes, I set primary hover color. I'm gonna change these so they match my notes. So primary color, hover color. Otherwise, we're gonna get mixed up. Primary active color. I obviously have to change those. Primary hover color. Primary active color. That should be good. If something breaks, we'll fix it. Okay, so I'm setting my background color. I'm going to set a border color as well to primary active color. Active color. And then I'm just going to set the color of the text. Default theme dot text color on primary. Now, if you notice my disabled states, I mentioned this before the break, that mine are different. So in order to do that, I can't just set that on the base button component. I need to actually go in and style the individual buttons. So disabled. On my primary, it's going to be a background color. So background color. And we're going to use my new disabled color I just added to my theme. Default theme dot text on disabled. And then I am going to set cursor to not allowed. So if I hover over this, it's going to tell me, nope, you can't do that. I'm going to copy this into my secondary button. So on my secondary button, my color is not going to be text on disabled because it's just sitting on this background here. So there's no background color. So this is just going to be disabled. We're not going to have a background color. So I'm going to explicitly set that to none. And then we will leave the cursor not allowed. Let me just throw this once more on our tertiary button here. Again, no background color. The color is going to be disabled and cursor not allowed. And if I test this, let's go back to index.js. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna highlight here. I'm gonna press, what is it? Option click. If you press option and click, you can have multiple cursors. I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna write disabled. So when I come back here, ideally, that should work as expected. The one thing I did forget is the border on the secondary button needs a disabled color. So let me set that. So border color, do default theme dot disabled. So now this is gray, and it shouldn't be allowed. Our hovers are still being applied. So what happened here is I in here I'm saying background color of none, and actually we just don't want any background on disabled. We don't want that to have any background on hover or focus. Okay, that was the difference.